Hi everybody, Gabby here of PB&G Home Group. Welcome to our weekly fishbowl chat, and as you can see, today you're just getting the one-woman show. Paul is not with me today. I know he's the much more handsome and intelligent sidekick of our team here, and he is unfortunately headed to a funeral today of one of his family members, so we'll be thinking of you. Hi, honey. Anyways, as always, of course, we're bringing you relevant questions that you have been asking us, and we always love to share them with you because we believe that if one person has that question, many will as well. So this week's question is a really cute one, and I'm so glad that this has come up. And the question is, why do realtors hate Zillow so much? We actually get this quite frequently, especially when we have folks who are working with us again. They have some real estate experience, and they may have been hearing from some of their other realtors that, you know, hate is such a strong word, that we have an interesting relationship with Zillow. So I thought I'd highlight for you what some of the things are that make us sometimes cringe our teeth when it comes to the Zillow company. Let's start on the buy side. So number one is, you know, the reason that a lot of buyers are using the website is because it's really easy to use. They have an app that's really easy to use, and of course the company has spent millions of dollars on perfecting that so that they can draw consumers in and have you as the consumer enjoy the experience. Here's the challenge with that. Zillow has a lot of outdated information in there because you have to ask yourself, how are they finding that information? So they have very intricate algorithms and ways behind the scenes to pull in all of that data and to make sure that, oh, hi Ryan, one of our past clients, I bet you were using Zillow as well. We're talking about Zillow today. When you have all of that syndicated data, nobody is double checking that, right? So you have computers who are pulling all of that information, and at the end of the day, you have nobody double checking whether or not that is accurate. So that can create wrongful information, right? Because there is no quality control. Number two is a lot of data, you know, they will state facts about Zestimates or values in a certain neighborhood or area, and again, there's a lack of quality control, and unless you actually have a realtor specifically looking into the microeconomics of a subdivision or of a neighborhood, a computer cannot in fact give you an accurate comparable market analysis or value of any home because it does not include specific features. Why? Again, those would have to be included, and somebody would have to physically punch them in every time a homeowner changes something about the property. And other than pulling tax record information, they have no way of being able to give you that accurate data. So if they did, people like us and companies like us would certainly not be in business anymore. So we're glad we are in business. So that is on the buy side. You know, on the listing side, it's actually very similar. A lot of times when we have the pleasure of helping a seller make their move, what ends up happening is we do syndicate the information that we put into the multiple listing service and into the Keller Williams listing system as well, which is another way for us to try to scrub and make sure that the data we are putting out is accurate, that then gets syndicated into the Zillow system and other public systems as well that are free to you. And again, sometimes that data gets overwritten by other data that is floating in the Google ether, in the ether of information. And after that happens, the syndication happens, we often don't have control to override potentially wrongful information. So in the past, you know, we have received a call from a seller to say, you know, what you put online is inaccurate, and so here we are, you know, checking the multiple listing service, and we're checking all of the pages that we have 100% control over, like our website, and then we can't fix it because it's wrong on Zillow. So that has in the past created, you know, some really sad conversations that we don't like to have. And of course, as you can imagine, it puts just a little sour taste on the realtor sides because it is something we can't control. So that's that. So what's the impact on buyers and sellers? Well, I think you can hear the bottom line is longer stories with us as your consultants. So, you know, a lot of times we get calls from buyers and they'll say, well, I found this on Zillow, or I found this house on Zillow, and, you know, we spent all that time and energy trying to find that house, and we can't find it in the multiple listing service, and come to find out, well, that house sold last year, or it never made it back on the market, and for some reason in syndication glip happened and you think it's on the market, and so it's a lot of time not well spent that we could be looking to find you the right house. Same thing on the seller side. What's the impact for that? We have had sellers in the past that have listed and sold their homes through us that may be getting a random phone call down the road and try and figure out what's going on, why are these people calling me, and we come to find out that they found their house on Zillow and thought it was for sale, and so it gets a little awkward when somebody shows up at your door. That's actually happened before. So really strange impacts on the consumers. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, gee whiz, that doesn't sound so happy and it seems like a huge waste of time. I know PB&G Home Group has been asking us for Zillow reviews in the past. What's that about? Well, we know where you all go shopping. So because we know that a ton of people are using Zillow as a website because they have strong marketing dollars, we try to be found by people so that hopefully we can fish you off the Zillow site and help you get accurate data by putting you either into the multiple listing service itself, because we can directly do that and get you on accurate alerts. Or, of course, we prefer to keep you on our website because behind the scenes, as you're looking for properties, we can actually take a look at what you've been looking at and then help modify your search or even tweak it. And a lot of times that keeps the communication more efficient and effective for you as the consumer that's wanting to buy or sell, and for us as well as the people who are trying to help you. So it avoids miscommunication. So yes, we will still be asking you for those Zillow reviews, because if we can be found a lot on Zillow, we know that we can help more awesome people like you. Or you can just, call us directly, and then we'll just forego the reviews in the first place. Anyways, in terms of the app, one thing that we haven't done a really great job of that we should be sharing with you more frequently is that we also have a killer app through Keller Williams, and I'm so excited to have found out that our app is undergoing a revamp and is going to be even better for next year. That should make the consumer-facing experience every bit as simple and certainly much more accurate and better than the Zillow app is currently. So that rollout is coming, and when that happens, you'll be getting a personal video with Paul, who will be back by then, and myself. I'm telling you all about it, and hopefully that will continue to make people realize that not everything that you can find online is true. I know. Anyways, I thought I'd share that with you. Thank you for tuning in on this week's Fishbowl Chat. You're getting those every Tuesday from us, and next week, I trust, Paul will be back by my side again so that, he can do all the chatting and I can just prod and pry him. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.